We're saying, get ready for the epic fucking war. Yeah. And it didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, taken as a whole, Season 3 feels slightly better on average than Season 2. But it's hard to say
with
because
the exception of the finales.
The taste we're going to have in our mouth, we're going to have to stick with for well over 6 months. Till Halloween rolls around again.
Yeah. See, I have a really hard time not going into this episode and totally spoiling Season 4 of Breaking Bad for everybody. Because I think you can draw a lot of things that they should have done from Season 4 of Breaking Bad and how they handled certain elements of that show compared to how they handled certain elements of this show.
There's two ways you can go with the finale. You can go cliffhanger, or you can go wrap-up.
Yeah.
Satisfying wrap-up. And they chose neither.
Yeah, that is accurate, because I'm not looking forward to seeing anything that they cliffhanged.
Well, the other thing is, a lot of people's like, well, why'd they go to prison instead of Woodbury? That's a fair point, because the prison, like in the comics, the prison, was a nice place. They had got crops to grow, and they had, they had like this kind of fledgling town going, and it was worth protecting. The TV show, and that's what's really offensive when I see Robert Kirkman saying, well, we wanted the prison to be its own character and have its own little... I'm like, fuck you! The prison was a shithole. It doesn't have any character. Its fences were always knocked down. It had a gaping hole that the survivors never had time to plug. Like, they literally are stacking pallets along the chain link fence. But they can't stack pallets or nail down pallets in the hole in the prison that's letting walkers in all the time.
Apparently not.
It doesn't make sense.
It's a bigger hole. It's the gate. It's the main gate. They don't have a gate like maybe exactly like the one that was there before they rammed it in to replace it with.
I do think that's true. I think they got the gate back up because they were shutting at the end of this episode. I'm talking about the giant blasted hole that Tyrese and folks got through.
Oh, okay.
Which they had
back
to
into the prison.
Yeah, and they never even knew that was there until Tyrese came through. It's just like I don't even know. It just feels like 16 hours of television. There shouldn't be this many loose hanging ends, and it's the killing all over again.
And the prison itself is a loose end, right? We don't want to be in one location for that long of a period of time. No. We saw it on the farm. It got fucking boring.
Right.
Now, you think bringing a busload of old people and babies is going to make it interesting? How?
I mean,
they have no enemy anymore.
There are a lot of things there's a lot of directions they could take this that could be interesting, but you're asking me to have faith in a show that has consistently rope-a-doped me into the next season. And now they finally delivered a turd of a finale where I'm like, okay. And oh, by the way, we have totally new showrunners.
Yeah.
There's no continuity in that. So I don't know. I mean, it's more hope, wishes, and positive thinking at this point to think that it's going to be anything more than it's been before, which is a frustrating, weird-ass amalgam of a show. It's sometimes brilliant. It's bafflingly stupid. It has excellent zombie effects. Yep. And I don't think it's ever going to be anything more.
Yeah, which is a shame because in Season 1, it wasn't that. The beginning of Season 1 was a thoughtful show. One that made you actually feel different things as you followed this character, Rick, through this crazy-ass world. And he was very human, and he was making decisions that people could identify with. Now that's not the case.
I just don't know what their fetish is for not following the comic continuity. I really don't.
Yeah, doesn't it feel like they're trying to twist things just for the sake of twisting them?
It absolutely does. It's like Kirkman would be... I don't know. I feel like I'm starting to blame Kirkman for all this.
Yeah. We have an email that kind of discusses Glenn Mazzara being... quote unquote being let go or just leaving over creative differences, and the different implications of that. So maybe we'll save that for the feedback section.
Yep.
But that's the end of the episode. Idiot Survivor of the Week goes to every single fucking person in this episode. Like it's blanket. The writers, the cast, the director, the producers, everybody gets Idiot Survivor of the Week. You,
yeah.
Me, everyone.
Yeah. My liver.
Yeah, your liver. Sure. Jason and Karen, you get it too. How about that?
I'm interested to see what they say about that tomorrow.
I am too. I want to see what the other Walking Dead podcasts say, because we have a reputation of being kind of negative on this show.
Yeah.
And I think it's justified, but here's one episode where it has been universally accepted that this is terrible. And I want to see if they follow the general trend there.
Yep.
Because if not, I'm calling you out.
Interesting.
All right. Do you have any promotion you want to do before we get into the feedback?
Oh, I suppose. God, I actually hate doing the negative stuff. It takes it out of me.
Yeah, that's right.
It's hard to feed that rather than just genuine love and excitement. But having said that, we are part of the Bald Move Network. You can find all of our content at baldmove.com. We just started Game of Thrones. This weekend, Jim and I are going to dust off the Mad Men cast and do a preseason preview for that. It's premieres this Sunday.
Busting out the whiskey for that one.
If you want three-dimensional characters and thoughtful plot lines, saddle on up to Mad Men. We're also wrapping up Justified on our TV cast. That's kind of on a little hiatus, and Breaking Bad's coming back this summer. Don't forget our newest affiliates, the Personal Arrogance crew. This week they talk about Star Wars Land, beer, which is a recurring feature. The Because Show talks about boob jobs, nail polish for men, and life pep talks. That's Amy Gerlin and Susan out of... Did I fuck that up? No, it's Amy Gerlin and Susan out of Los Angeles. And we always appreciate ratings and reviews on iTunes. It's the single biggest thing you can do to drive traffic to our cast. If you want people to... we're Walking Dead truthers. If you have fellow like-minded people, send them our way. Tell them to go to baldmove.com. You can also use our Amazon affiliate link at amazon.baldmove.com. And I think we're ready for feedback now.
Oh, no, we're not, because we have a sponsor this week. Our sponsor is Audible. They're the internet's leading provider for spoken audio entertainment. They have tens of thousands of audiobooks for download. Your computer, your smartphone, your MP3 player. You can listen whenever and wherever you want. They have over 100,000 titles, so just tons of stuff to listen to. I'm going to go ahead and recommend World War Z. Re-recommend it, actually, because I think we recommended it a couple weeks ago. The movie's coming out pretty soon. There's trailers everywhere, and the voice work in this is just phenomenal. I mean, you got guys like Mark Hamill and can't think of his name, Jesus from The Big Lebowski, John Turturro. Guys like that, and a lot of other people that you've probably heard of, or at least heard their voices before. And I thought this was a really cool book coming off of like Zombie Survival Guide, who's also by Max Brooks. And that one is like kind of logistic based. I mean, it's like, okay, how do you kill zombies, and what's the best weapon, and how does the virus spread, and stuff like that. Whereas World War Z is more of a story. Like, you get the background of how the zombie infection took over, and how the world changed as a result of that. And I thought it was really cool. Like I said, the voice work is exceptional. So go check that out. You can actually get that for free if you go to audiblepodcast.com/baldmove. You can sign up for a free 30-day trial of Audible and get a free book with it. All right, let's get into it. We have an absolute shitload. I mean,
break it down percentage-wise, positive versus negative, because I read quite a bit of it. It seemed like a 90-10 split.
You know, I almost always get more positives than negatives. It was easily a 90-10 split. I'd say it was 95-5 split. I think I saw maybe 2 or 3 emails that were like, oh, I kind of like this episode.
Okay.
And maybe they were just being contrarian. Who knows?
Could be.
We start off with Jared G., who writes in, you were unsure what Michonne's fingers were trapped in. Last episode we talked about this. He says, I'm pretty sure it was the dial of the phone that Merle took with the numbers pinched out. Great cast, guys. A lot of people wrote in to say that. Yep. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So kind of cool. Nick M. writes in, I really enjoyed it until the last 5 minutes talking about this new episode. I know they probably wanted to stretch this part of the comic out a little more, but Felt a little underwhelmed with the finale. I ask you guys, what do you think will happen now with the governor? How will Carl be from here forth? And lastly, what Aaron's liver thinks of this episode.
Aaron's liver was very relieved when he got gutted in the first 5 minutes. And what's awesome is I felt like my liver was a real person on Facebook, and it was his birthday. Because, when someone has a birthday on Facebook, you get like 100 comments like, congratulations or happy birthday. My liver got so much positive thoughts in that live thread. It was awesome.
Sweet. As far as what's going to happen with the governor, I don't care. Like, it's not something I want to think about because whatever I come up with will be 10 times as good as what they're going to come up with.
He's one crazy guy with 2 pussies.
Yeah.
What possible threat could they be to Rick's group in the prison at this point? They surely they can be terrorists, but
pulling Andrew, they'll get the deer guts, start stringing them along the walls.
We're kind of out of characters that I detest, though. I mean, from here on out, anyone dying is going to be fairly brutal. Even Carol at this point.
Well, there you go.
So there's that.
I think the far more interesting question, as he asks, is how will Carl be from here forth? I think this is going to be, unless I don't know how far they're going to skip ahead, if at all, in the next season. But what they've set up is actually pretty interesting. I think the idea of Rick being not necessarily a bad parent, just an oblivious one. One who thinks that his kid is going to come through it okay, even though there's clear signs that he's not. And Rick now, I think, acknowledges that and understands it. Seeing him deal with that and try to course correct Carl would be pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, Carl is very interesting to me and his relationship with Rick. Unfortunately, I don't think Rick has held up his end of the bargain this season. So that was, I mean, I compare where they were at last season where Rick gave him that talk about, how you got to grow up in this world and all that and how awesome that scene was versus I don't really got a lot to go on,
Yeah. Samson writes in, says, I thought the episode started off really strong, but then faded off. There were some things I hated, like nobody shooting back at the governor, Morgan not... I don't understand the thing about Morgan not showing up, right? I mean, that's not a big deal. That was not something that we were expecting to happen as an audience. It was just...
The insiders were, and I don't know why they couldn't give it to us. I think that... Jeez... I got to wait for spoilers.
Okay. Morgan not showing up, the group not leaving the prison, and Rick bringing back all of the weak Woodbury people. There were some high points, though. Tyrese and Sasha joining the group. Yeah, I kind of like to see that. Carl being as badass as ever. Andrea finally dying, and I thought the music was great. 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10? Were we watching the same show, man? All right. Keep up the great work. Thanks. Joseph E. says, was this a season finale or just another 3-month break before season 3 and 3/3? The only thing that came of this was that we found out Creepy Pete has a son, and his name is Creepy Carl. Twice the creepiness in a smaller package. For people who don't get that reference, check out our Mad Men podcast. Plus, he has a gun, and he's definitely not afraid to use it. No surprises at all, and no closure to the governor's storyline. Are we supposed to think that he just went off into oblivion after realizing his own lunacy? Well, lunacy doesn't go away. The realization of it only goes to fuel it further. No, now we're in for at least another half season of the governor's plot on the prison. Shoot me now, Carl. Most importantly, way to go, effects people. Rick's Magnum should make your ears bleed going off in a room like that. And what was with the sound of the bullet casing hitting the ground? Yeah, lots of people are going to be talking about that. So skip to the end. Pimby writes, "Hi guys, bet you're glad you waited since October for that. It was a good episode, but it was a piss poor anticlimax of a finale. Felt much more like a mid-season finale. I know you guys keep saying that one of the joys of the show is that anyone can die at any time, but I just don't feel that anymore. Ever since they used Oscar as fodder, it has felt like new characters are introduced just to give the illusion of main character threat. Axel, Ben, and Alan are the same. Merle and Andrea were just token end-of-season deaths. The start of Season 3 was a world away from 3.5 with T-Dog, Lori, Shane. Season 2, really felt like anyone could die at any point. He was scared for Beth watching her doing laundry in case she slipped and drowned in the laundry bowl.
I don't know. Andrea didn't feel like a token death. It did feel like they didn't know what to do with her. So fuck it. But
yeah,
I mean that's a season, that's a Georgia Survivor death, original Survivor death.
Yeah, it is. And there are only 5 of them left out of the original group.
Yeah,
I think there were like 16 total.
I'd have to look at her show image.
Oh yeah, we've got them all on there. And he says some stuff about the overall season, but we're probably going to save that for when we actually do a recap, which hopefully will be after Mad Men and Game of Thrones are over.
Yeah, we might hear some more stuff in the summer, and or we might just wait till next year. It's probably more likely.
Yeah, probably. Brandon from Georgia says, first off, I want to say the finale was a mixed bag for me. I was thrilled at the reveal that Andrea was bitten. What a wasted character. They spent way too much time making us hate Andrea, that when she's supposed to appear sympathetic, we don't care that she's dying. I mean, I think Michonne is the only person that mourned her death. Rick and Daryl sure didn't seem to care that much, and I definitely didn't. Can't fault Laurie Holden, though. She did the best she could with the material she was given. But geez, does AMC have an act for writing terrible women roles or what? I don't know. I didn't think her role was that terrible.
Yeah.
Got to keep going. Tons of emails. Brian KW says, for the finale, why not go to Woodbury? Who wants to live in a prison when you have a town? Odd way to end the season. Also, the Andrea part was long and ridiculous. She can't talk and pick up pliers at the same time. She knows better after what she has gone through. I agree. Buzz Hote says, tell me if you've said this to yourself at the end of an episode of The Walking Dead, specifically a finale or mid-season finale. It will get better next season or episode. It has to. The source material is too good to screw up. Then, like a gullible schmuck, you keep coming back for more, even though it never fails or fulfills the potential that you've convinced yourself could exist. This is where I find myself going once again with The Walking Dead, where there are some good episodes along the way to being very underwhelmed by a finale that producers, showrunners, actors, etc. hailed as incredible, amazing, shocking, and emotionally satisfying. Yes, but knowing what I know from the comics, I find this show to be incredibly frustrating. Yeah, that's like the real bummer, right? Everybody says it's so great, and we kind of know, okay, when you're talking on to the public about a show that you're a part of, you've got to be positive about it.
Right.
Nobody's going to say, well, yeah, season 3, the ending kind of sucks, and, well, we're replacing the guy at the end of it, so don't worry, it'll get better. Nobody's going to say that.
Yeah. Well, it's like it just depends on who you want or what you're wanting out of this. Like if you're a Bill Simmons or Grantland guy and you're just like, I just want to see zombies killed.
Yeah.
And people eaten, then this is fine, and you're going to like this is just a minor speed bump. But if you want more, and like I said, I tend to like stuff, but I like the extremes. Like if you're going to just be fucking stupid, go Cranked.
Yeah,
I want to see Crank 2 levels of stupidity, or I want to see what's the Peter Jackson zombie film? Dead Alive?
Dead Alive?
Brain Dead,
it's
yeah.
Either one, yeah.
Yeah. I want to see that. It's like I don't feel like high drama and zombies are two great tastes that go great together unless you're really taking a drama thing seriously.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I mean, I would have loved to seen Rick pick up a lawnmower and just charge the governor. I think that would have been awesome.
Yeah, and they're slipping the final battle by sliding on blood, and you can get your zombie on and go crazy like that. But speaking
of which, I downloaded a movie called Zombie Ass.
For Christ's sake!
It's some Japanese it's crazy.
Of course,
absolutely
it is
crazy. I haven't watched it yet, but I really want to see it. Anyway, he goes on. It's impossible to ignore that it seems AMC is taking the cheap route with The Walking Dead time and time again, even though it's a cash cow for the network. There's never been a big-budget Blackwater-type episode here. Blackwater? What's Blackwater?
That is the epic battle scene of last year's Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I don't know the titles for those. They're
Gotcha.
all weird city names or something.
Yep.
The governor going all Full Metal Jacket at the end was just lazy writing. Even lazier was that none of the 20 or so armed people took a shot back at him. Wouldn't it have been at least slightly more believable if the governor was on the receiving end of a non-life-threatening stray bullet?
Yeah, why not?
Sure. Anything would have been more interesting. I didn't actually, aside from nobody wants to fucking kill the governor, I didn't have a problem with the way that scene was acted. I thought the acting of a guy just snapping, and it kind of had this moment where his head's just swimming and he's filling up with these thoughts of like, oh my God, nothing is going as planned. These people are annoying the shit out of me, and then he snaps. I thought that was actually fairly effective. It just had... It was just ridiculous in so many other ways.
Yeah, again, it's like everything came together to make it a bad episode. It wasn't like one scene you can point to and nitpick and say, oh, man, this just totally ruined it for me. It's pretty much the whole package.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even the stuff that's set up to be kind of cool, it completely fell flat by the end.
Yep, I agree. One final thing I want to read, just because it has some of my favorite titles for movies ever in it. This season was really about the worst acted and worst written character ever, Andrea. Maybe it's not Nostril Dumbass's fault. Nostril Dumbass? Is that Andrea?
I guess.
The writing
in her savage face form.
I guess. The writing and the editing here for Andrea are on the level of something you'd see on the Sci-Fi Channel. Actually, saying that is a huge disservice to movies like Sharktopus and Mansquito. No reason to say why I hated her character, as I'm sure you've already torn her down and exposed it for what it is, hot garbage. Agreed, man. Agreed. Stan writes in, also, did anyone else notice that the ghost hologram of Lori in the episode was seductively rubbing her pregnant belly the entire time she looked at Rick?
Seductively?
I don't
know
what's
wrong with you people.
Yeah, I don't know about that,
Pregnant
but she
women
definitely
do
was
that.
rubbing her belly.
Yeah, pregnant women do that. I don't think it's seductive.
No.
If you had a giant belly like that, you'd rub it too.
I would. I do. Josh writes in, well, boys, I think now we know why Mazzara was canned. What a steaming pile of a finale. God, I hate...
Do we
some
though?
part of me...
Which was he the Rebel Alliance or was he the Empire on this one?
See, we don't know. There are
creative differences. Was he
opinions.
like, this is horseshit, we cannot do this to the viewers?
That's what I want to think, because everything about me, everything about this show tells me that AMC is doing this on the cheap. Like, even though this is a outstanding, colossal mega hit for cable compared to most shows, they seem to be taking the cheap way out. Like, where was the war? Where was the effects budget? Where was all the stuff that we wanted to see?
I felt like they spent the money,
do.
they just didn't do it right. They didn't spend it on the right places, you know what I mean?
Where did they spend the money?
They had, like, the zombie Rambo scene. That cost money. The prison sequence with all those things exploding and people running around and screaming, that cost money.
Come on. That doesn't cost that much money.
No, but it's, like, not exponentially more to make it good. They blew up those towers, for Christ's sake. That was cool.
Oh, you think those were real towers? Those were cardboard boxes.
Shut the fuck... Okay.
Anyway.
I'm just saying, I don't think the stuff that they fall down on is the cheap stuff, which is writing.
Yeah.
Writing and plot is much cheaper than getting out and filming and FX and all that stuff, and they just don't give a shit.
Yep. Fair enough. Kevin F. says, I feel like nothing really happened at all. Andrea's death felt lame and half-baked, to say the least. No heroic moment or emotional sacrifice. Just fumbled with a wrench, killed zombie Poindexter. Extending the governor's arc feels like a terrible mistake. The meandering of the second half of the season may be at fault here. So therefore, no resolutions to anything we went through this season except maybe Ghost Lori taking off, but that was dumb anyway.
Yeah, I gotta say, if your satisfying arc is your leader's no longer crazy,
yeah,
you've got a problem.
Alex F. says, now here's a theory about Mazzara's departure. He's got the opposite side, and he's got some stuff to back it up. According to Seppenwall and Feinberg's podcast, Mazzara's story is that he left over creative differences about where the show would go in Season 4. Do we think there's a chance that Mazzara wanted to leave the prison and Woodbury behind, but Kirkman/AMC/whoever wanted to stay there a while? That might explain all the bullshit of the last few weeks, contriving a way for the groups to stay at the prison could get kind of messy, especially if the showrunner wasn't on board. Anyway, man, so excited to see to get into this half season, and now I'm back to where I was after season 2. I'll still check out season 4 though, as long as I'm properly liquored up. Yeah, I might have to be as well.
Well, we won't know until some people start leaking information, because it could go either way. It could be AMC horrified that they got another killing on their hands, or
somehow I don't think so with 12.4 million viewers.
And I keep hearing that they spent so much money on this prison, and they're like, man, can't we just, that the whole reason we were stuck on a farm, it turns out, is because they were wanting to save money on the budget.
Yeah.
So I could see them saying, well, let's keep this prison around an extra, an extra year or an extra season, I guess.
Yeah. No, for sure.
But again, this show's got to be making hella cash, because it's not just the sponsorship. It's not just the commercials. It's also I've never seen a show with so many fucking sponsorships. Zombies running around in a Hyundai, and zombies running around with Microsoft Surface Pros, and zombies running around fucking Bing, using Bing searches, because that's what fucking brain dead zombies would do. They got to be making tons of cash, man.
They are, man, and the licensing fees that they're making on games. There have been 3 games within the past year.
Action figures.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and the other shows that they're promoting, they're going way overboard with promoting their other shows during this show, right? I mean, every other commercial was now check out everything that AMC's got coming up.
Yeah.
And I get that, HBO does that, but that's because they don't run traditional commercials.
Right.
It's all subscription-based, so I don't know. It's starting to get a little annoying that I see what could be such a great show faltering because of what I can assume is they don't want to spend the money based on what happened in season 2 when they're obviously making a ton of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Michael D says some notes about about reshoots. Andrea telling Milton why she stayed was probably a reshoot. This episode was written by Glenn Mazzara, but Laurie Holden stated in the Inside the Episode interview that our new showrunner wrote that scene with Andrea telling Milton why she stayed. Also, during a clip, it actually showed Milton biting her arm while she struggled to get out, not her shoulder. Yeah, there was a deleted scene there where they actually showed Milton and Andrea struggling.
I don't get it. Why did they put that in? Because that is basically a repeat of her of the justification she gives to Rick. And it destroyed. That's
right.
What destroyed the pacing of that. So really, they reshot to make it worse.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's what we have to look forward to with the new showrunner. Congratulations. He says he also noticed a scene between Tyrese and Sasha that was never elaborated on. That's the one we were talking about where he goes off to do something. And he says he probably thinks it had to do with reshoots as well. The governor's invincibility was also annoying him. What the actual fuck? This man has a force field around him or something. It's worse than the teleporting walkers. You mean to tell me that the governor was able to shoot all those people without anyone shooting back? I call bullshit, just like all the other times. Tom In from Melbourne says, one of the largest subtle things I noticed largest subtle things, huh? That's suspect. I noticed in the episode were the callbacks to both the comics, Season 1 and Season 3.0. The opening shot of the governor's eye is a direct copy of the Walker eye zoom out we get at the beginning of the season. Glenn and Maggie in full riot gear was a beautiful sight to behold, especially since they spent so much time in it during the prison arc of the comic. The governor's apparently has a line, "Kill them all" in the comic, a pretty prominent line. So it was awesome to hear a nice twist on that.
Line.
Oh, okay. Well, it did in Tom's.
Okay.
And then, of course, Andrea saying that she knows how the safety works, which I actually don't think we covered during the show, is a callback to the moment where she killed Amy. Is that right?
I don't know. It's a callback to season 1 where she kind of Didn't she pull the gun? And when she first met Rick, didn't she pull the gun and point it at his head? And then he mentioned that you had the safety on or something like that.
I think she did that with Amy as well, didn't she?
I don't think so. She pointed a gun at Rick when he tried to go take it from her, but obviously she had the safety off, or she would have been dead. I'm pretty sure it's the first time they met.
Okay. Got to keep moving. Jenny says, first, the story with Carl and the boy from Woodbury caused quite a discussion in our living room because we had two different generations watching the show. My daughter, who's 15, was irritated with Herschel and his point of view and fully supported Carl's decision, as both Aaron and I do. I also supported Carl's actions, especially when the kid didn't put the weapon down and continued to walk toward Carl, even after having two guns pointed at him and being instructed to put the weapon down, not hand it over.
Yep.
Good point. Carl saw a threat. He saw a person holding a weapon who was older and bigger than him. He didn't trust this man who just attacked his family and home. He's been living some of the most formative years of his life in a kill-or-be-killed world, and things are black and white to him. Just like they often are to adolescents in this world, it's often not until we grow older and make decisions and mistakes based on the hard lines we draw that we gain perspective, and there is a whole lot more gray area. Enter Herschel's point of view. Herschel didn't see a man when he saw that guy. He saw a kid, a scared and confused kid at that. His perspective, however, is based on the world before the walkers, so to find a way to teach perspective to Carl is going to be difficult, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how that pans out in future episodes. Yeah, I agree with that. I like that.
I think that was interesting, too, the whole, the fact that if this was a grown man, I don't think Herschel would have batted an eye, but since it was a kid, he's scandalized. But for Carl, why the fuck does he care?
Yeah. I just especially like her point that Carl is not... it's a weird word to use here, but jaded by the former world. Sure. He's seeing things for what they truly are here in this new world. And he may actually have the correct perspective on things because of that.
Yeah.
It's an interesting point to bring up. Tim L. says, first of all, he says he's from Ohio, which I probably didn't need to read. But am I the only one who doesn't have a problem with Carl shooting the boy? No, you're not. We've talked about that in detail. Sully from Boston says, I'm normally a biting critic, but I rate the finale 9.5 out of 10. Oh, boy. Here we go. For the first time since the pilot, the hour was legitimately scary and suspenseful. Maybe I was freaked out after a while. Hey, don't laugh yet. There's still plenty more of this email to read. Sorry, Sully. I'm not trying to give you shit, but you probably deserve it if you like this episode. Maybe I was freaked out after watching the poor Louisville b-ball player's nasty injury.
Oh,
what?
Yeah.
Am I not a sports guy?
Yeah, in the some of the college basketball action, some dude jumped up and landed and compound fractured his leg on national television.
Oh,
it just shattered
ouch.
and bone shot through.
That sounds bad.
Very cringeworthy.
So maybe it was because of that, but he found the Andrea Milton scenes tense. He also thought it was scary and a rare moment of forethought in the until now sitting dead writer's room to have Rick's group packing and then the governor assaulting the prison while we waited for a Walker or Rick ambush. At least they addressed it, but I didn't buy 100% that Andrea's claim I was just trying to keep everyone alive. However, if Andrea is naive and stupid enough to stay and screw the governor, she is naive and stupid enough to nominate herself for the first zombie apocalypse Nobel Peace Prize for selflessly wanting everyone to live, including murdering, torturing head collectors.
Well, she had a good mentor in Dale.
She did. That's the other... I don't know. That's the other horrible thing here, right? Like, think back to when Amy died and Dale basically forced her. Well, okay, he didn't force her. He made a decision and she made her own decision. But she wanted to die. She wanted to stay at the CDC. And now here's what she gets for it, right?
Yeah.
She gets a horrible experience at a farm. She gets 8 months on the run. She gets a town where she thought she was going to be happy turned to shit right in front of her eyes, and she finally gets killed. So, congratulations, Dale.
Kind of depressing.
Yep. Dave M. I believe this is Dave Maresca from DVMPE. He says, "Gentlemen of the Ball Boom Network, people of Internetica, friends united in fighting against the threat of the walkers and biters. AMC and Skrillex are proud to present Walking Dead 3.5.2, the remix. You need to be wasted on some of Heisenberg's stash to truly enjoy. That sucking sound, you ask? It's not Biter Merle chopping on a fallen Woodbury soldier or Milton finally getting his tongue on a woman's neck. No, it's the complete and utter shitfest and Foley and Tom fuckery that was Welcome to the Tombs." I take it he didn't like it.
Yeah, we're not the only podcasters not digging it.
Yeah, so he did like the trap that they set up. The fact that Team Rick thought to set the trap of the tombs, but didn't think of a good tactic. Might have been to have someone hiding in the prison where the entrance to the Walker-infected tomb was, waiting to lock the gate, and trap the man and kill them. Yeah, that would have been pretty awesome.
That was a kill zone, and it didn't work.
He also didn't like that everybody went in single file. He says that the governor's never played Counter-Strike in his life. And he has some stuff about Andrea as well. I actually agree with this. Is it just me, or did she clearly get both hands free in time to defend herself? A week before, she took out 3 walkers at the same time by herself. I agree with that. Like, it didn't look the way they shot it like she was in peril there, which is why I thought, okay, she's fine.
Well, and that's like
he talks about the gun.
Glenn's got to be shaking his head because he's like, "Shit, I was bound and tied to a chair, and I used a chair for a weapon. You had both your hands free and your feet free, and you got bit by fucking Merle, or no, not Merle, Milton."
Yeah, Glenn. If Glenn was there, he'd be like, "Fuck this, I'm out. This is dumb."
Yeah.
Ryan K from Northport says, "I'll get the praise in first." Nope, no praise. Sorry, Ryan. Overall, I was disappointed as was much. Let me be clear. That's not praise for the episode. It's praise for us. That's why I'm excluding it.
Okay.
I didn't want people to think I was tossing out praise for the episode. He says, overall, I was disappointed as was much of everyone else. One of my coworkers has finally given up on the show and the comics. I had my issues, but there were some points where that were interesting, and going forward, we should at least be intrigued. The episode failed because of the expectations, like we were talking about. He says the Andrea/Poindexter scenes were basic horror tropey. Yeah, but they were mixed in with so much other bullshit that it was hard to like them, even for me. And really didn't add much suspense to the plot. Andrea was written into a corner and could only be killed in it. Andrea not wanting anyone to die resulted in every single person dying, including herself. So stupid. Agreed. He also agrees that Carl shooting the kid was the right thing to do, and that adding old people to the prison doesn't make it very exciting. Moving on. We have a shitload of email, people. Tons of it. Murphy, he first corrects himself, says he was wrong.
How many spoiler emails do we got?
I didn't see any. People were talking about the finale. There's not a whole lot of spoiler stuff.
Okay, we might eschew a spoiler section. Because
we might. I don't have anything for it.
I mean, all I do is I'd be like, I don't know how the fuck they're going to recover from this. I got a couple of ideas that maybe we can talk about the preseason cast next time. But I don't know if it's worth. If you want to go long, I guess if you want to go long in the feedback section, we can just eschew a spoiler section.
Yeah, I'm trying to get through it before my voice dies, honestly.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, I'm hoping to get through the rest of these emails.
Let me keep interrupting you then.
As long as I'm not talking, it's okay. Murphy says, first of all, what was that he was wrong last week and that it wasn't Asthma Boy that was Alan's kid, Ben. I don't know what he's referring to.
Oh, okay. So that's the shotgun. That's Ben's son too.
No,
or not Ben's son. It's Alan's son.
I don't know, dude.
I don't either.
Couldn't tell you. He goes
He'd
on
always
to say,
be Asthma Boy to me.
He goes on to say, this episode came in swinging, but it went out on a stretcher. Yep. Here's something fun you can do during the prison attack scene. Play the A-Team theme. just like you were saying.
Thank you.
There's a cut you need to put on YouTube.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun. Yeah.
And then at the end, when everybody gets off safe, Hannibal can come in and be like, "I love it when a plan comes together."
Put that quote over the governor driving off with Martinez and Shump.
Yes, after with all the bodies in the background.
Shit. That's funny. Maggie and Glenn must have went through the Hannibal Smith School of Shooting at or near around the enemy. Okay, so Hannibal. Mm-hmm. Carl gets the only confirmed prison kill, and Herschel snitches on him. What a dick. That kid didn't drop his gun. He had over 15 seconds to comply. Yeah. Absolutely loved the looks on Martinez and Shumpert's face. Or Shumpert? Schupert? I don't know. Shimp's face. He loved it. Although he was expecting Martinez to take him out. Got to keep going. Officer Not So Friendly says the episode was a disgrace and an insult to Walking Dead viewers. The grade that I give this episode is a negative 10 out of 10. The bad thing about this episode is that season 3 overall was really good, but the only thing we remember is this fucking shitty-ass season finale. Mm-hmm. Why would you use the last episode to make Andrea, who you already redeemed in front of the viewers on the episode Prey, a martyr just because she didn't want anyone dead? She deserved to die because she was a fucking idiot. Knowing that the governor was a liar, almost killed Glenn, Maggie, Daryl, Michonne, kept a zombie girl locked up, and had an aquarium full of zombie heads. What makes me go nuts is the fact that seconds before Andrea kills herself, Michonne and Andrea decided to actually talk to each other for the first fucking time. Mm-hmm. If they had said a word when they were supposed to, instead of looking at each other speechless, Andrea would have been alive. Yeah, that is one thing that this season will forever be marred by, is the lack of any communication between anybody. So many of these problems they had could have been solved just by someone speaking an obvious line.
Yeah, and what's hilarious is at the end, they had one that didn't even go anywhere. The Tyrese. I'm back, and I'm going to tell you anything. And then, just...
Oh, I thought you meant you need to hurry. From Milton. That was pretty obvious. He needed to say that, right?
Yeah.
Mike in Texas says, well, I must say I was disappointed with the season finale. The only good thing I could say about it was that we seem to have finally have sane Rick back, though it looks like Carl may be moving to Crazy Town himself. I'd argue against that. He has a lot of random points that I have not gone through. Seems to be basically the same as everyone else is saying. Sorry, Mike, but got to keep moving. This is the last one.
All right.
I'm cutting it off because I'm about to die. Yeah. I'm going to save his name for last. He says, weak-ass pussy shit. Horrible season finale. Puts my stick-to-itiveness for the rest of the series in jeopardy. Maybe I need to watch it sober. Mark and Milsucky. Yeah, I don't think you want to watch this sober. I think you watched it just as it was meant to be watched.
Unfortunately, I did. The rare initial shot that I watched sober, and I was not too pleased.
That's it, man. I have one email that I moved to spoilers, but I think we've done enough.
All right.
You want to do an outro?
I can. If you'd like to give us... what's the point of doing an outro, a feedback outro when you're not going to come back for the season?
I don't know.
I'll give us one anyway. If you'd like to send us feedback, you can always do so at walkingdead@baldmove.com. Follow me on facebook.com/baldmove. Hopefully you'll stick around for the Game of Thrones or the Mad Men love, and you can follow Jim on Twitter @baldmove for his live tweeting of the shit that we do. And you can find all of our stuff on baldmove.com, and I think that's it.
That's it? Okay. Perfect. Thanks, everybody who stuck with us through this season finale. We know it was kind of negative, but what are you going to do, right?
Yeah, like I said, it's when you got a 2 out of 10 episode, There's what could they do to get a 1? Again, I'm thinking like a musical episode.
Yeah, the Christmas special I think would get it. I mean, if we need like, I don't know, the governor decorating a Christmas tree.
Or if they did like an old school clip show. You remember the clip shows?
What? Explain this.
Okay, so like, I'm trying to think of a canonical example. I want to think of like Star Trek: The Next Generation when Riker got bit by that plant snake. And he kept hallucinating, and it was just basically 5 minutes of new material, but they just kept on showing clips from previous seasons.
Oh, that would be
But they
terrible.
somehow like made it. It used to be a staple of episodic television that they would have.
They've set that up in Vatos too, right? That's what we're going to get in season 4.
Oh, wow.
A bus full of old people.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. It's. Yeah. The only thing they could get for a 1, I think, would have to go clip show.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Maybe they'll come back in season 4 with that. But we will be back in season 4. But until next time, I'm Jim.
And I'm Aaron. See you next season.